welcome into BoardCheck. We are about to start period number 1 right here on YouTube. Thanks to YouTube for allowing us to come on each and every week, and of course, obviously, Impact Media as well. Remember, you can pick up your official BoardCheck t-shirts for, I believe they're $15. Just contact us here at the show. It's the easiest way. I'm a lot faster than the production crew is, so just let me know right here on the show, or drop us a line in the comments, and we'll get with you and get your shirts to you just as soon as you can. They got all the information on the back as well, and we would definitely appreciate it. Now, obviously, we're going to get into some Bruins and Kings stuff a little later on in the show, and the NHL issues. We're going to really dive into some things that are going on with the All-Star voting, which is starting to look a lot like baseball's kind of crap fest, but we'll get into that in a minute. I do want to start with the Manchester Monarchs, who have been doing okay lately, and we'll get into it here in a second as to where they actually are. But obviously, this past Tuesday, they were in Adirondack to take on the Thunder. They were able to pick up the victory there, 4-2. No, actually, they lost that one. Misread that completely. They lost to the Adirondack Thunder. Thunder must have cheated, right? They had to. But the two goal scorers on that one were Lavallee, Smotherman, and Diamond. Lavallee Smotherman is one person. You guys correct me on that. I already knew that anyway, but apparently I put too much of a pause there. But either way, good thing is on Saturday and Sunday they played at home against the Kalamazoo Wings, otherwise known as the K-Wings. Pretty famously known. I think I actually have. Somebody gave me one of their jerseys not too long ago. It happens. Maybe I'll wear it one day. But on Saturday, we picked up the victory 4-2, where Arnold knocked in a couple, Shore and Bucarts had the others, and Brittain got his 36th or 35th career win. Either way, Brittain has been lights out. And I, for one, am glad that we've solved this goalie problem that the Kings and Bruins have had, so that we actually know who our goalies are going to be without this whole revolving door of in and out goalies. Now, of course, on Sunday we also picked up the win 6-3, where Bucarts had a hat trick. Congratulations to him. Lynch had one. Diamond knocked in two more. And that's a total of 6, guys. I didn't know if you knew that. And Mr. Imu, Jonah. I'm going to call him Jonah. Jonah had his first pro win. Congratulations, Jonah. Keep fighting, man. Of course, this put the Monarchs into a first-place tie in the North, where they are now. They're actually at that point they were first. As of this show, they are now tied for second with Adirondack. Florida is actually in first. Upcoming schedule for the Monarchs this Wednesday, which would be a couple days from now. They're at home against the Norfolk Admirals. As a 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time start, and also on Friday they have the Admirals. That is a 7 p.m. start as well. Now I want to tell you right now, because we're about a quarter of the way through the season, so let's go over some team leaders and stats. Mr. Diamond has 11 goals. He leads all scorers. Ciampini and Doremus have 15 assists apiece. They lead as far as that, and Mr. Diamond has 22 points total. He has 11 goals, 11 assists for the quick math. Brittain has played 14 games where he is 9-3-1. He's a 2.47 goals against average and a .909 save percentage. He leads all goalies we have, and he has been the all-star of the goaltenders. Now, moving into some Atlanta Gladiators. Now, on Wednesday, they only had the one game this week because they actually are going to have a 9-day stretch before they play another game. It's really crazy. On Wednesday, at home, they had the Greenville Swamp Rabbits in. Of course, they are the ECHL affiliate of the New York Rangers, and Swamp Rabbits is just a really cool mascot to have. They really understand the whole mascot thing, I think. But that was a loss where only Higgs scored a goal. McIntyre had 18 saves, unfortunately. Not as many as he needed. And actually, I believe McIntyre is now officially... Well, we'll get into that in a minute. And Higgs, too. The upcoming schedule this Friday, I told you, from Wednesday to Friday, they had 9 total days off. I don't know what Chris Treff did with himself. I'm sure Christine Troyke enjoyed a little mini vacation there. I hope they really did. We'll hope to have them on again soon. Or have Chris on and have Christine on again. It's fun having her on. You guys really responded to it, and I know everybody appreciated that as well. Now, on Friday, they're going to be at home versus the Orlando Solar Bears. That is a 7:35 start. They will also play them on Sunday. That is a 2:05 Eastern Standard Time start. The Gladiators are currently third in the division with 23 points. They are 6 points back from first place. Some quick news and notes on them because they have been quite busy. When you get a 9-day off schedule, it seems to be a lot of jockeying back and forth between the AHL and NHL affiliates. The Providence Bruins are recalling A.J. White and Brock Higgs. That kind of blows a little bit. I mean, I'm glad that they're able to get called up and go to other places, but Higgs has really been tearing it up down here for us. We're going to miss him, but good luck to him. In a way, I hope we don't see him back down here again because that means he's doing spectacular and they made room for him. But it could just be a temporary thing with some of the injuries. Who knows? They also initially anticipated Dan Vladar. I'm going to call him Vladar, Darth Vladar, to return to Atlanta. He has actually returned already. So look forward to having Darth Vladar back in the net. I know it's going to help out a lot. Justin Buzzio, the Buzzman. He was named CCM ECHL Player of the Month for November. He had 7 goals, 14 assists, and 21 total points in 14 games. That is like 1.3 points a game, I believe. My math could be completely off on that, but even if it's not, it's like 1.5 a game. That's unreal. It's crazy. Your leaders so far: Buzzio has 28 points. These are your quarter stats. Nesbitt and Neely have 13 goals. Higgs has 22 assists. Obviously, he's not here, so maybe somebody will catch him. Matt Ginn, 16 games played. He is 8-6-1 with 1 shutout, 3.76 goals against average. Nothing personal. That has a lot to do with the defense in front of him. It should be a lot lower. I like it 2.76. And a 8.95 save percentage. Now, those are pretty good stats. No matter what people say, Ginn is an exceptional goaltender. And we should support him. He's our goalie. He's our goalie. That's who we have. And you can either look at it like, hey, that's who we have. We don't have anybody better. Or you can look at it as, hey, he's a great goalie. Let's rally behind him and let him know we're behind him. But that's going to do it for the ECHL news and period number 1. Stay tuned for period number 2, where we're going to get into some NHL action. And we'll be right back after the break, right here on BoardCheck. Welcome back to period number 2 right here on BoardCheck. Jeremy the Impact Guard checking in. Once again, if you'd like your own BoardCheck shirt, they're $15, and that includes shipping. So go ahead and send those orders our direction. You can message us right here underneath the post. You can catch us at all our social media sites, and soon to have the website up, which should be a lot of fun. So make sure you get your shirt. These things are awesome, and we can modify them a little bit if you'd like to. We can put your name on it if you want. But the few things I wanted to talk about today, I want to talk about the All-Star voting and that you can vote for captains. But first, I want to talk about there's a big injury to a goalie, and it's not Boston or LA, and this could really impact a lot of things. Who's it to? Who's that, Uncle Mike? Uncle Mike thinks it's Chicago. It is Chicago. Corey Crawford had emergency appendectomy surgery. He had his appendix taken out. I'm glad he's doing better. I've known a lot of people have that rupture and have that. I mean, it can be really scary, and it could be fatal if not caught in the right way. So I really want Corey Crawford to get well soon, but at the same time, I believe he's going to miss 2 to 3 weeks. What does that mean? Well, if you're the LA Kings, you're in the West, so you want to make sure to. This is the time. This is one of the playoff beard. The playoff beard. This is part of why this is going right now. It's time to make one of those playoff-like pushes, go on like a 10, 15 game win streak or a big point streak where 2/3 of your games you're winning. Really need to make that push now, because in the West now's a good time to kind of narrow that gap. It's going to be real hard they're going to start scrambling. I believe they signed a college guy as a backup the other night because they needed an emergency one based off Crawford's injury and surgery, and especially the emergence of it. Now, if you're Boston, what does that mean? Well, same thing. Playoff beard. It's time to make that playoff run. I know we need a little bit of help on defense. It might cost Krejci. It might cost Spooner. It might cost maybe somebody in the pipeline. I don't know. Maybe we can move one of these goalies that have done pretty well for us. It would be really great if we could move Malcolm Subban, because the guy is still spectacular, but we kind of don't have room for him in the system now. So he could be the expendable one out, and a lot of people could use it. Subban's a good name. His brother does some pretty good things last time I checked. So, but moving on from that, if you're a Chicago fan, I'd worry a little bit. But I don't want to hear you crying and boo-hooing, because what Boston and what LA just went through with their whole shuffle up and down all the time. Finally get Zatkoff back. The only one not back from that entire fiasco is Johnny Quick, and that should be hopefully a little bit later down the road. I hope. There's a chance it could be the rest of the season, but I actually think we'll see him later on in the year. So that is what it is. Now, I told you about you can vote for the All-Star captains. What they have basically done, what the NHL has done, I don't know if the teams submitted this. I don't know if the teams were told to give 4 players or whatever, but if you go to NHL.com, you go to the All-Star link, you go ahead and click that little link there the same way you did to click this show, and whichever team you want to vote for, you can vote for captains. So I'm trying to remember who this is. I think Boston, there is Chara. Nothing personal, Chara, but I don't know why in the bluest of blue hells you are on this list. It should be Pasternak or one of those guys, because Pasternak's playing out of his mind, and yet he's not on the team. I mean, not on there. I voted for Tuukka Rask, who is on there. Bergeron, Marchand, I think might be the other ones. Maybe Krejci even. I'm not sure. One of those. But either way, it's a shame that Pasternak's not on there. Now, on the flip side, on the Kings side, let's see. I believe... Who did I vote for on that? I know Jeff Carter's on there. But anyway, there's a bunch of different ones you can vote for. There's 4 per team. This is the NHL's way of controlling and not having something crazy happen like last year, even though it was kind of cool from a fan perspective, but I understood where the NHL was coming from on it, the business aspect. So that is what it is. Shout out to all the people that made it and all the people that will make it. But go on there and vote. You can vote up to 10 times per 24-hour time period. Go on there and vote. I've already voted like 60 billion times. So not only do you go on there and vote, but you're entered to win a chance, I believe, to go to the All-Star game and watch it. Or if not, it's next year's. It's one of those. But either way, make sure to vote for all your favorite players. Make sure to vote for team captains currently right now. 4 Boston Bruins are up there that are deserving. Even though Chara's on the ballot, I still say he's deserving. And obviously, you can vote for any of the 4 LA Kings that are on there, and all of them are deserving as well. But that's going to do it for period number 2. Stay tuned for period number 3. We're going to talk some Boston Bruins with their schedule. There is a Chara update. And we're going to talk some LA Kings, where I'm actually going to tell you what's going on with Teddy Purcell and Andy Andreoff. But we'll be right back after the break for period number 3 on BoardCheck. And we're back for period number 3 right here on BoardCheck. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jeremy the Impact York from Impact Media. Now we're going to talk some Boston Bruins and LA Kings. Obviously in period number 2 we talked about the just monstrosity that is the All-Star game, and also how now is a good time to make a run. As I said, playoff beard is going. It's time to make the playoff push now when people like Chicago are missing their top goalie, and we can really make a run. We were missing our goalie for all those other times, so now that we got those back in place, we need to really make a run. Both these teams really need to beef up the defense, especially Boston, and now is the time to do it. Let's start with Boston. They are currently tied for 4th in the Atlantic. They are tied for 8th in the East with Washington. or they are actually 4th in the Atlantic by themselves. They are tied for 8th in the East with the Washington Capitals. On Tuesday, they lost to the Flyers. God, Joe Fortenbaugh is going to give me crap for that. Joe, no matter what, Philadelphia still sucks. They won 3-2 in a shootout where Krejci and Marchand were the goal scorers. On Thursday, there was a win versus the in Carolina versus the Hurricanes, 2-1. That was also a shootout where Backus scored the only regulation goal for Boston, and Spooner and Pasternak were able to get the shootout goals. See, I think shootout goals should count, and if they do, maybe I'm just misinformed, but if you score in a shootout, it still should count as a goal to me. So that is what it is. But Kudobin, whichever way you want to say it, either way, Big K was 29 for 30 in the save department. That was the first win by a backup goalie for the Boston Bruins this season. Yeah, I'll say that again. That was the first win by a backup goaltender for the Boston Bruins this season. That's just been that kind of year. Probably because most of the time the starter gets hurt, the backup moves in, now he's the starter. Then the starter gets hurt. To be fair, I don't know that we've had many backups play this year that weren't named the starters initially. Also, Saturday they had the win in Buffalo 2-1, where Krejci and Bergeron were the goal scorers, and Tuukka Rask had 35 saves out of the 36 attempts. I'm getting tongue-tied over this. You know why? Because I'm excited that Boston is starting to turn it around, beef up the defense. Maybe it's time. I think Krejci may be one of the guys to move. Spooner has been rumored a little bit here and there. We got to have a big-time defenseman to help pair with Chara. And Chara, who is not – he's getting better, but he's not currently ready. I mean, that's the update I got. That's the update you guys got. I reached out to other people. That's the update we all have. It is what it is. Upcoming schedule, they're actually playing right now at home in the TD Garden against the Florida Panthers. That started at 7, of course, like I said. Actually, can we get an update on that? Update. Somebody? Okay, here we go. This is being passed to me, so I'm going to try my best to read it. Boston currently leads 1-0 at the end of one, where Schaller scored his first of the year. It was a snapshot with the assist from Mr. Krejci, which is number 12 on the assist list for him. So up 1-0 currently on Florida. That's definitely a good thing, and I'm glad we could get that update for you guys. If anything else happens before the end of this show is filmed, then I'll definitely tell you as much as I can. Obviously, on Wednesday, we're going to be in Washington versus the Capitals. I just told you we're tied for 8th in the East with them, so it would be a good idea to try to beat them. That's an 8 p.m. start in the nation's capital. The following day on Thursday, they're going to be at home versus the Colorado Avalanche. Now's a good time to strike on the Avalanche as well. They're not all the way put back together. That's a 7 p.m. start, and also at 7 on Saturday, we're going to be at home versus the Maple Leafs. Let's show those youngsters that Toronto's not as good as Boston. We need to beat them as well. I gave you the Chara update. Moving to the LA Kings, the home of the Kings here. Wednesday, they lost versus the San Jose Sharks. Cody Elias, who's been on this show, big Sharks fan, remember? Yeah, he gave me crap for that one. But it happens. Dustin Brown had the lone goal in that one. On Thursday, we were able to get into the win column. It's just the Kings are starting to struggle again, and it's kind of alarming. But no need to panic yet. On Thursday, with a win in Arizona, 4-3, where King, Lewis, and Nolan all had a goal. Nolan actually added a second one. He's starting to come around. Peter Budaj was 4 for 6 in the first period, and then Zatkoff was able to finish the game, only gave up 1 goal, and had 25 total saves. We get an update. We are getting an update. Jaromir Jagr just scored to tie it up 1-1. Good for Jagr. I like Jagr. You guys, if you're a fan of hockey, you should like Jagr. But I don't like that Jagr scored against our Boston Bruins. But I guess we're just going to have to move on from that. Let's see. Like I said, Zach Koff ended up with the win on that when he played the second and third quarters, second and third periods, rather. 25 total saves for him. Sunday they lost versus the Montreal Canadiens, and you not just lost, you lost 5-4 in a shootout, where Carter, Shore, Doughty, and Lewis all scored, and shootouts just don't go well for us. We need to avoid those. That's like, you know, in the UFC going to a judge's decision. Don't leave it up to something like that. Upcoming schedule this Thursday, they're going to be at home against the Carolina Hurricanes, 7:30 Pacific start on that one, so that's 10:30 on the East Coast, and at 1 p.m. West, or Pacific rather, 4 p.m. East, they will be against the Ottawa Senators on Saturday. Now, right now the Kings are 4th in the Pacific. Not bad. Kind of nice that one team's 4th in the Pacific, one's 4th in the Atlantic. But they are tied for 6th in the West with Winnipeg. You can't let Winnipeg beat you. And better yet, you can't let Chicago beat you. But remember, their goalie's going to be out. Now's the best time to strike. And I got to tell you about this Teddy Purcell thing. Basically, they're trying to make room so that Andreoff can be activated. So they initially waived Teddy Purcell and then have assigned him to Ontario, where he's going to get some more work in. It's just there's too many cooks in the kitchen, so to say. They had to make room for Andreoff. Purcell still needs some ice time, so they're going to send him down. There's nothing wrong, nothing like that. But Purcell is now going to be optioned to Ontario, and Andreoff is now on the active roster. So, hey, once again, another Monarch on the big stage. Hopefully everything goes well with that. But there's the horn. Once again, we get the victory right here on BoardCheck. That's going to be the end of BoardCheck and the end of the game. I'm Jeremy the Impact York. Thanks for joining us right here on BoardCheck. Thanks to Impact Media and, of course, YouTube and all the other social media channels. We will see you guys next week. Pretty good chance we're going to have a special guest, and I think you're going to enjoy it. We'll see you guys next week. Go Bruins. Go Kings. Go Monarchs. Go Gladiators.
Let's get ready to rumble! Feel the fires into the red. It's nice and only know how.